Okay, my name is Yusuf Ali, and I'm the CEO of KTS Ministries. KTS Ministries was developed to promote a sense of moral, intellectual, spiritual, cultural, and economic enhancement within the African American community. From the 60s to the 70s, as I said, when the question was at what happened, I would say J. Edgar Hoover happened. And so in J. Edgar Hoover's COINTELPRO, there was a design to destroy, the black movements of the 60s, the civil rights movement of Dr. Martin Luther King, the black nationalist movement of Malcolm and the Black Panther Party, and the SNCC organizations, US organizations. So there was a concerted effort to really destroy those movements to, as in J. Edgar Hoover's words, to prevent the rise of a Messiah. So in the assassination of our leaders, this society, government, culture set up for us new leaders in what emerged as the black exploitation movie. So we went from the leadership of the Malcolms and the Huey Newtons to taking on leaders like Superfly, the Mac, and as we were mentioning earlier, we would say Sweetback and so forth. So many brothers took off their tams and so forth and, fried their afros, and just a whole new cultural impulse emerged. And I believe that was pretty much the downfall of our communities. Glorifying the pimps, glorifying the drug dealers. We know that drugs begin to flow into the communities at an unprecedented rate. So all of that, the culture, the drugs, and the destruction of our leaders conspired to destroy that movement of the 60s. So those were just a few of the things that I felt contributed to, the demise of those movements. Well, I believe both. I believe there's a conscious effort on one group's part to not want to educate us as to our true history. And I believe on the other end, there's a lack of effort on our part to do what we need to be doing, to enhance our own image in, say, media, in movies, etc., to tell our own story. So if we don't tell our story, we can't expect anyone else to. So I believe that burden and that onus is on us. If we want a more dignified image of ourselves in the movie industry, in the music industry, etc., I believe that is on us. We can do it if we want, but if we go looking for handouts from others, we have to be a part of somebody else's guild, then we will have to compromise our own integrity, our own dignity, our own true history and heritage. So it falls on us. It's all coming back to us. And I really don't think nobody is in our way, that if we want to do it, if we come together to do it, there's nothing, I believe, that will stop us from doing it. My recent travels was to Senegal in West Africa. Prior to that, in 2004, I made a trip to Ghana, to Burkina Faso, and Mali. I had Senegal on that itinerary at the time, but I ran out of money and time, so I had to cut Senegal and pick that up at a later date. So that was 2004. In 2001, I visited Spain and Morocco. I wanted to see some of the architecture that was left behind by the Moors of Spain as it extended into places like Morocco and etc. So prior to that, I have also been to, in '03, to Egypt, '09 to Ethiopia. I've made the pilgrimage, Hajj to Mecca, and that's just a few. I've also been throughout Asia, Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, India. So, as one person said, I am a traveling man, you know, a true sense. If I understand the question correctly, it is a global issue. I mean, we are now emerging into a more global era with communications, with rapid transportations. I mean, you can be anywhere on the planet today within 24 hours. So it is an open and a global society that we live in now. And yes, there are the haves and the have-nots everywhere you go on the planet. And it seems that the middle class here in America is even beginning to erode. So soon we will have a two-class system here, haves and the have-nots. And that seems to be the picture within the so-called third world, but now that image is beginning to work its way here to the America, the United States of America. So yeah, you see it globally, and once you go global and you see it there, then you come home, you could readily see how it's beginning to emerge here. With all of the homelessness, how can you have homelessness in the richest nation on the planet? That just doesn't register, doesn't make sense to me unless it is intentional. So yes, if there's something that could be done and it's not being done, then I believe it's by design. What's happening now in Syria is a continuation of what happened in Iraq, what's been going on in Afghanistan, what took place in Libya, what's going on in Yemen today, and Somalia. You know, there is a big global design to break up and balkanize the Arab world to make room for the emergence of what has been called the Greater Israel. So you can go online and find YouTube videos that will go into depth on the issue that's going on there, but it too is by design, and it's all part of what has been called the Greater Israel experiment. So, and their expansion, they want to control that region. They believe that not just Israel or Palestine was part of their promise, but also parts of Syria, Lebanon, Iraq, Northern Arabia, and even parts of Egypt. So at one point or another, you will see all of these nations being taken down, broken down, with no intent to ever build them up, but make them failed states so that they could never compete in any way with the rise and the continued expansion of Israel.